This video features crappy lenses I forgot I even owned. So I've significantly downsized the camera collection now, and I've not entirely thwarted the urge to buy more, but I'm getting better, I promise. At the moment I've mostly cleared out the cameras I don't use anymore, and I'm focusing on decking out the camera systems I do have with lenses and accessories and all of the things that I actually use when taking photos. The process of paring the collection down will continue, but for the moment, the major work has been done. But I think now is a great opportunity to sum up and take a look at some of the cameras that I'd gotten rid of before I even started this series. A lot of this started because I was looking through some stuff and I found this picture. Now some of these cameras will look familiar and have been talked about already, but there's a couple more that I already got rid of, and there's some that I've probably even forgotten that I used to own. But let's go through the cameras I used to have and some thoughts, just a quick run through of them.
Pentax.
I've had a few Pentax cameras, mostly because I always seem to find them at like op shops, and occasionally people have just given them to me, and I think I know why. They all tend to die on me. I think I was given a P30T when someone was ditching their film camera collection to go to digital. The other two were an MZ50 and a Z10, both of which I got from an op shop, came with lenses. Always Sigma lenses. I very rarely actually got any genuine Pentax lenses, but that's neither here nor there. They worked perfectly fine. Weirdly, the first lens I ever bought was for the Pentax P30T, and that is this one here. I also found my other lenses. So this was the first lens I ever bought from new, all by myself, and God, it's terrible. I bought it for the P30T, and I used it and I hated it. Everything about it. It is basically just a kit lens that they sold separately. It may have come standard on one of their cameras. I don't know. It's pretty crunchy. It's extremely plasticky. If you think modern lenses are plasticky, this thing, I mean, even the autofocus screw is plastic. I don't even know how. Anyway, so I had the Pentax P30T for a while. I got the original lens. It was also a 80-28 and it got bent out of shape, so I bought this as the first lens I ever bought for myself. And I used it for a little while, and then it got the dreaded issue where the shutter won't cock. I'll leave a link in the description for what that issue is, but basically I didn't know how to fix it at the time. I wasn't as skilled or as brave at repairing cameras as I am now, and I just had to get rid of it. I did at one point consider getting more Pentax cameras, and that's where an MZ50 and a Z10 came in, as I found them in an op shop and I thought, maybe I can finally deck out a whole collection. But very shortly after I got those cameras, both of them died. The electronics just went in them, which really soured my opinion of Pentax. I know there's lots of people out there who really love them, and in fact, I mean, I've taken a look at an Flex 1A and it is a gorgeous camera. But anyway, the electronics seem to have gone in them. Maybe I was just unlucky. But after that, I just got so frustrated that I didn't even attempt to sell the cameras. They were not in great condition. I just gave them to a local repairer. I have no idea what happened with them. I really hope that they went to help, bring someone else's camera back to life, but that was the end of Pentax for me. I'm sure that they're fantastic, and I never owned any of the good models like the Spotmatic or anything like that, so unfortunately I sort of moved on from there, and I don't think I'll be getting one ever again, except for maybe the Flex. God, it's gorgeous. Minolta. The X300 is a great camera, there's no question about it. It's perfectly fine. If you're a beginner, I think the X300 is an amazingly serviceable camera. You can also look at the X500 and X700, which are the models up, but even the X300 does pretty much everything that you want. It's great. If you're really lucky, it comes with a 50mm f1.7. It is a fantastic lens. It's absolutely amazing that that was the standard lens for that camera. I highly recommend it. If you find one of them and you're getting into photography, go use it. So why did I get rid of it? because I also had a Minolta SRT 101, one of these mechanical beauties, and I could never seem to figure out if I wanted to go more with the X3 5-700 and deck out the MD lens series, or go for the SRT and deck out that older lens series. There's no aperture indexing on it. But because I got kind of stuck between the two, I ended up not going for either and getting rid of them both. To be fair, my SRT 101 wasn't the best example. Also, it uses a PX625 battery. I don't generally like cameras with these batteries. You can get around the issue of them, but they're an old Mercury battery. They don't sell it anymore. You can get a new revival, which doesn't last that long. It's just annoying. Avoid it if you can. But the mechanics of the SRT 101 are fantastic. And I don't know, if things worked out slightly differently, I could easily see myself having Minolta to this day, but I decided to get rid of them, and that's okay. I think they're great, and if you're getting into film photography, they would be one of the first options I would look at.
Box brownies and folding cameras.
Box brownies and folding cameras are the bane of my existence. Look, I got one here. This thing sits on my desk all the time. It was a gift. It was given to me. Public service announcement for all of you who have people who love photography in your life. Unless you know the person and they collect box brownies, never buy one for them. They're kind of awful. I mean, I love the 1920s aesthetic. It's got the sort of Gatsby theming around here. That's great. Obviously, this one's not in great condition. The reason why I hate them so much is I like cameras to take photos with the cameras. I'm not necessarily very good at that, but I enjoy it. This thing takes 620 film. They haven't made 620 film in years. I can't really use this thing. It's a tremendous amount of work to bring this up to a fantastic like new condition. I don't think I have the skills to be able to do that. I also don't happen to think that these look particularly fantastic on, shelves or mantelpieces unless they are in that sort of new original condition. Just if you see one of these at a shop or a garage sale or something like that and you go, oh, I have a friend, he's into photography or she's into photography, I'll get that for them. Don't. Just don't. Just leave it. Leave it there. Leave it alone. Because otherwise, all it's going to do is it'll go to their house and sit on their shelf for years. I'm sure there are people out there who love collecting them, but they're probably wanting absolutely perfect in-mint ones or rare ones. Look, you could have a friend who absolutely loves collecting these things and they think it's wonderful, but for me, ask first. I don't need another one sitting on my desk doing nothing. I'm sick of these. In fact, if you want one of these, let me know. I think I got 3 of them. I can't get rid of them quickly enough, and I don't want to throw them in the bin because that's waste, and I don't want to just give them to somebody else because then they have the same problem that I have. And why? No, just don't leave it alone. It's fine. Folding cameras. Folding cameras are slightly different because some of them are still perfectly usable. Some of them are even kind of modern, like this one here. This is technically a folding camera. How very exciting. Obviously I'm talking more about more vintage folding cameras like your traditional Kodak folders and things like that. Now these can still be good because some of them still use 120 film, which is perfectly fine. And there's some like Voigtlanders, in the Besser series and a couple others like that, which might still be old, but they're not bad. They're perfectly usable. Some people do like the style of them, but there are a couple of really modern examples too that work great with color film. So folders are a little bit less contentious in my mind than brownie cameras. I would be happy receiving one randomly. I also think they just look cooler on a mantelpiece than a brownie does. So, that's just me. But I think I've got 2 or 3 in storage at the moment. I think it would be a fantastic project to try to restore them. Then I can learn how bellows are folded and all that kind of stuff. So that might be something that I look at in the future. But yeah, I've gotten rid of a couple of them because they were just in such terrible condition that I wasn't able to work them. I didn't think I'd ever be able to repair them, and somebody else at the time was more interested in them than I was, so they went away, and that's fine.
Conclusion.
So this series has been a good lot of fun for me, looking at the cameras, the ones I'm getting rid of, and thinking really deeply on why they don't work for me. And I really hope that if anyone's taken anything from this series, it's that even while some of these cameras don't work for me, they can really work for other people, and what I consider to be a great and amazing camera may not be the best for somebody else. And I think that's something that's not often talked about enough in the online discourse around film photography, is that not every camera was designed for everyone in mind. And even though a camera could be really expensive and really sought after, it doesn't mean that it's the perfect camera for you. You might want something smaller, simpler and faster. So I've kind of come to the end of this little series that I've done. I'll probably still on occasion add videos to it, because I sometimes get a camera and then I discover it doesn't quite work for me the way I'd hoped it did. I think that happens to all of us. We sort of build up an impression of a camera in our mind and it doesn't quite meet expectation, or we might even change as a photographer and go in a slightly different direction, and that's okay. There's a couple of cameras that I've purchased recently, even though I probably shouldn't have, but that's okay, and you know, they might need to go. This might be a great example of that sort of thing, but that's good because now I can probably focus on doing some other things on this channel, picking up some new projects moving forward a little bit, and maybe talking about some of the cameras that I do think are fantastic and the ones that really do work for me, and go through why that is a little bit more. So we'll see if I add to this playlist in the future, and we'll see if I start talking about cameras that I actually like.
Like and subscribe. I have to say it because Polly feels like it is trust to have to ask you.